Players, coaches, fans, young Noel from across the globe, welcome to the Week 20 Round 1 preview show of the Bigs. As always, I'm your host, I'm your commissioner, I am Timmy Westside, and win or lose, it is always my goddamn honor to be here with you all recapping the greatest league in the world. Stick taps all around. We have done it. Season 10? Regular season 10 in the books. The best part has just begun. Did it. 20-week season. Finished. Winners, losers, highs, lows. Wipe that slate clean. For most of you. For all of us. Wipe it clean. Doesn't matter. In this show, not really going to touch on week 20. Mainly going to go through the games to come. And in doing so, I will reference what happened last week. Don't want to. Have to. But this show, big recap show. Gonna go through team by team. Picking out a couple stats for every team that really demonstrated how they got to where they are today. Some for the better, some for the worse. Mostly all came out in the wash. Couple outliers here and there, but for the most part, luck does play a factor, no doubt about it. Matchups are big, but at the end of the day, the cream rose to the top. The losers floundered. Let's get into it. Standings. We don't really run through it quite often because it's a moving, not algorithm. Thinking of the word. Anyways, but this is it. The week 20, this regular season 2025 final standings. The comeback kid. We'll get into him later on. Off the top of the show, actually. 16-4 takes first place. Hot on his heels. The Borland Backhanders, 13-7. Right behind him, the Rubber Puckies. Coming in fourth, the Burt Macklin Squad, 8-12. Number 5, the Breakfast Club. And lonely, number 6. The embarrassment, the shit stain of the league. I spent too much time doing these videos, not enough time in the war room. That's on me. Gotta be better. Timmy Westside 5-15. Okay. Heading into the playoffs. Just doing a little refresher course. As we know, 3 weeks. Week 1, we got 2 versus 5, 3 versus 4. Week 2, the 2 winners, the 2 losers. And then week 3, we got the ship, the winner of the winners bracket. You play Bootsy, the loser of the loser bracket. Welcome to the Terror Dome. It's scary down here. Yeah. Good luck to all. And we will start with we're going to start with the teams who aren't playing, and then we're going to finish up with the 2 games this week. I said it all season. Unfortunately, not often about my team, but at the Bigs, we start with winners. The comeback kid, stick taps all around. I wrote this down. This could be the year of the firsts. You don't know. Bootsy, as mentioned, number 1 seed overall, 16 wins, only 4 losses. Check the game notes, but I'm pretty sure that's a regular season win total record. Pretty dominant. .800 win percentage. A little bit of help with scheduling, but his team did produce offensively. He enters the playoffs on a 4-game winning streak. Points 4. He was the second highest total in points with 4,220.7 points. Good to be lucky, lucky to be good. He also had the second lowest point total against. In a big spot, his team came through offensively. Lucky to have the second best head-to-head schedule in terms of points against. Can't fault them. Oh, you had a better schedule. Doesn't matter. Took care of business in a big spot when he needed it the most. 4-game winning streak. He led the league in assists with 737 assists. Bootsy, our captain, going back to the shenanigans, running the PP, and his players followed suit. He also led the league in hat tricks with 8. And his goalies ended the year 63 wins and 40 losses. All that is good enough to put him in the ship. 1 win, 1 game. Go get it done. Talking about firsts. Listen, I'm 2-0. 1-0? How many times have I been in the bowl? Listen, I'm undefeated in the bowl. And I find myself back there again. Yeah, we're going to quickly talk about Team Westside. You stink. 5-15. Bad team. Bad team. Bad drafting. I really do believe the foundation of a good team starts on draft night. Yes, you do tinker throughout the year, but if you don't draft well, if your top dogs don't hit, you're in trouble fast. My top D, Roman Josi, off year, got injured, recently came back. Igor Shesterkin, we don't got to get into it. Yes, been playing better, but for the first 12 weeks, he was no show. And by then, 12 weeks, the first 15 weeks, no show. And then by then, it was too late, whatever. A couple swings and misses. Elias Pettersson, Larry warned me. Shit stain. Draft night is important. Add and dropping will put you over the top. 5-15, a .250 win percentage. That stinks. Had every chance I could. Had 2 weeks in a row to get myself into the playoffs. Last week against Larry, lost. This week against Ken. Ken's on a 4-game losing streak. Awesome. He puts up the most points on the week. And I think that his team has done all year. So, good to be lucky. Lucky to be good. They go hand in hand. I was not good. I was not lucky. It is what it is. Larry texted me on Friday. I'm down 25. And he goes, "You're going to win because Ken's on vacation." It was 4 p.m. Ken's notorious for doing his lineup late because he had guys on the bench still. "You're going to win." But bananas. And I quote, "Your luck this year has been unbelievable." Buddy, come on. Stop it. Listen, I get it. He was under pressure. He didn't want to be back in the bowl, but I was like, relax. I lost by 84 points. I was down by 25 at that time. Whatever. I enter on a 3-game losing streak. As I mentioned, I was number 3 in points against. So right in the middle of the pack. But my offense was number 5 out of 6. I had by a landslide. The least amount of goals. 348. To put that in perspective, Ken Dog led the league with 436. Basically had 100 more goals than me. My guys they just never showed up. If you can't get on the scoreboard, throw your body around, take a penalty, fucking drop the mitts, get involved. My team, the lowest in PIMs. 100 PIM difference from me in last to the next guy. My dogs just had no bite. None. Zero. Zilch. My goalies, 64 wins and 56 losses. The most losses, a differential by 8. So, bad drafting. Turkin, Anderson, Mr. Band-Aid, and Juicy Saros. On paper, entering the year, they look good. Bad drafting. Didn't adjust. I'm in the bowl. We'll talk about me in 3 weeks from now. Thank God. All right, boys. Now's the fun part. We will start with matchup number 2 versus number 5. We're talking the Borland Backhanders, and we're talking the Breakfast Club. Borland Backhanders, stick taps all around. They end the year 13-7. They didn't even try. In week 20, they were locked in. They were number 3 in points for with a 4,070.2 points, and they had the number 1 schedule, I guess you could say, with the least amount of points against. The guy that won it was number 2. The guy that came in second was number 1. They both had good offenses. Good to be lucky, luck to be good. I'm gonna stop saying that. A 650 win percentage. Love this stat for the kid. And it proved it from right off the hop. We talked about it week after week after week. His goalies led the way. And it wasn't even close when we look at the stats. His goalie record, 78 wins and 40 losses. Incredible. Obviously, most goalie wins and tied for the least amount of goalie losses with Bootsy. Most amount of saves as well. So his goalies really did just like lead the way. He was third lowest in player goals, but with that kind of production on the back end, no homo, catapulted him into second place. Our defending champion still has a shot at defending his title. This week, heading up against the Breakfast Club, he is 3-1 this season against Laurent-Pierre. Speaking of Laurent-Pierre, the last man to get into the post season with a 6-14 record. The guy's coming at me for luck. He's in the playoffs. He was last in points for with 3,669, and he was fourth in points against. He had the most penalty minutes. Timmy Westside, no bite. His guys couldn't score, but guess what? They dropped the mitts. They got those gritty points that catapulted him into the postseason, unlike my team. The most pins with 633. The least amount of power play points. And I guess you could say, along with Timmy Westside, the least amount of goalie production. His goalies only went to 50 and 48. The lowest goalie win total by a lot. And his win to loss differential was +2. The next lowest guy, which I think was me, was +13. So not good offensively. Not good between the pipes. He's in the playoffs and he comes at me for luck. Shut the fuck up, Larry. Shut up. Next and our last matchup of the week. Number 3, Rubber Puckies against number 4, the Burt Macklin squad. Rubber Puckies, by a considerable amount. I'm not going to say it, but this is where scheduling really became a factor. The most points for by a good 180 points, 90. However, he was second highest points against. So even though his team just like lit the world on fire, they also gave up a lot. Is what it is. With a better schedule, easily could have won it all. Them's the breaks, kid. He had the most goals with 435 and second in assists with 724. He also had the most power play points. His goalies, just as impressive, 72 and 42 record. The kid was lights out, just had a little bit of bad luck in terms of scheduling. I think he got bugged 2 or 3 times. So at number 3, he's definitely a dark horse. If his team can get hot, they can put up big time numbers. Moving on, the Burt Macklin squad. He's a little touch and go early on, but the kid still ends 8-12. No problem. He's in the playoff picture. He was a 4th in points for with 3,824.5. He had the most points against. So yes, he was clamoring a bit, the schedule sucks. You and your opponent this weekend both got banged in a big spot by the scheduling gods this year. Couple things that stuck out. You had the most shorthanded goals with 15, the most shorthanded assists with 12, and of course the most ad drops with 40. So just very Jacoby kind of stats. Hey, whatever works. You're in the dance. Goalies, much like the rest of his stats, were very middle of the pack. 65 wins and 46 losses. All in all, stats don't lie. A little bit of luck helps. Good drafting goes a long way. And the right moves during the year. That's the recipe. I took that recipe and threw it out the window and said, nah, I don't need that. Now I'm in the bowl. Gentlemen, good luck this week.